Good morning. We're continuing with our study of Paul's letter to the Galatians, exploring the main theme of the gospel. Yesterday, we left off with Paul telling his story about his encounter with God, and we pick up here in Galatians 1:13. For you have heard of my previous way of life in Judaism, how intensely I persecuted the church of God and tried to destroy it. I was advancing in Judaism beyond many of my own age among my people and was extremely zealous for the traditions of my fathers. So, Paul is saying, I was more religiously righteous than you could be. If it was possible to earn our way to God by keeping the Jewish law, then I was the one who was going to do it. I was ahead of others. Verse 15, but when God, okay, so you pay attention here, there's a shift that goes when Paul is talking about what he did, he's using active verbs, and now he's going to shift into passive verbs because he's not acting out. God is now acting on him. Christianity is not this I do, it's this he did, so God is acting on him. But when God, who set me apart from my mother's womb and called me by his grace, was pleased to reveal his Son in me so that I might preach him among the Gentiles, my immediate response was not to consult any human beings. I did not go up to Jerusalem to see those who were apostles. So he's mentioning this because this is one of the charges that the Judaizers are making of him, that he's not a real apostle, that he learned everything that he got from Peter, James, and John, and that he's sort of a second-tier guy. And he's saying, no. I'm gonna get everything I got directly from God. So he says, I did not go to Jerusalem to see those who were apostles before I was, but I went into Arabia, we think for 3 years. We don't know much about this period of time. Some think that he went there to sort of be in the desert and spend time with God. Some think he goes there to be discipled. Some think he's there preaching the gospel. But then he says, later I returned to Damascus. Then after 3 years, I went up to Jerusalem to get acquainted with Cephas and stayed with him 15 days. I saw none of the other apostles, only James, the Lord's brother. I assure you before God that what I am writing to you is no lie. Then I went to Syria and Cilicia. I was personally unknown to the churches of Judea there that are in Christ. They only heard the report, quote, the man who formerly persecuted us is now preaching the faith he once tried to destroy. And they praised God because of me. So Paul is going to some lengths to say, look, I did not go to Jerusalem and hang out. My training didn't come from other apostles. I am revealing to you the message that I got directly from God. So he will then talk a little bit about going to Jerusalem, which is likely for the Jerusalem Council. This is Acts chapter 15 talks about this. Paul and Barnabas came off the mission field in order to be at this little first powwow, first gathering of the disciples, of the apostles to have a conversation about whether or not you had the Gentiles who were becoming Christians first had to become Jews. So that was not the plan. It had never been the plan, but there were people that were claiming it, and so they were meeting together to talk about this. And Paul will say, I brought with me to that gathering an uncircumcised Gentile. So clearly somebody who had not become a Jew in order to first then become a Christian, and he was accepted. So Paul is going to do much in making this point. So he's retelling his story, not to sort of inflate his worth, but in order to validate the gospel of grace. And we'll pick up on a couple other wrinkles in this tomorrow as we keep moving through Galatians. Have a good day.